What's up, guys? It's here. The Open is live and 2023 is underway. Um, I'm excited. I am assuming that you're very excited for the announcement. This is probably one of my favorite Open workouts that have ever been released. And if you haven't done it yet because you're new to the community, then you're gonna thoroughly enjoy this one. Any chipper, uh, I can't say any chipper, but most chippers are very fun. Um, the beauty before I dive into my suggestions and or some strategies, the beauty in this is that the repeatability is very high. Now I know that at this stage in our sport, a lot of the athletes that are eyeing to qualify for quarterfinals in an easy way and really have their eyes on competing at semifinals, they won't need to repeat this workout. But if you're an athlete that's on the cusp, the beauty in a chipper is that it's not going to create a ton of local muscle damage because we're just touching on particular movements. If anything, your grip will, of course, build fatigue and potentially some soreness in your forearms and hands. But other than that, you should feel pretty dang good, even if you put up a pretty significant score in this workout. But without further ado, the history of this thing is that it was 14.4. We watched Lazar Dukic execute a phenomenal, workout or event live, and he nailed it. He knocked it out of the park. This is a workout that's kind of designed for someone like himself. He has a very large engine, great ability to maneuver his way through chippers, great self awareness in regards to pacing, and he put on a show. He got off the rower fast and held on to the lead throughout. We watched BKG be able to close the gap on him a little bit as they transition off the toes to bar and into the wall balls. But then on the ring muscle ups, BKG cost himself several repetitions for not locking out the ring muscle up while his shoulders and head were still through the rings. This is something that I want to make sure that all my athletes and all of you that are watching this take very seriously. If you haven't yet, go take the judges course. I would encourage every competing athlete to take the judges course. It's about the standards that you're going to be judged in. If you don't do that, if you don't take it that seriously, then I don't believe that you're taking the sport seriously. You're not an athlete who is trying to take away or navigate all the potential chance and or risk for you to not be successful. So go do that first and foremost. Pay attention to details. It actually cost BKG significantly in momentum. I think that he was coming back and coming on strong. He's good at ring muscle ups, but he just got caught there with some few bad reps. And then, of course, after that, it kind of busts your momentum bubble and your body language changes and everything else changes through the course of the workout. On the ladies' side, Gabby Magala and Laura Horvath did an amazing job. Laura got away with some suspect repetitions, to say the least, on her ring muscle ups. You guys can go watch that again and witness it itself. She's locking out almost every repetition on her way back through the rings instead of showing a point of support until she reaches fatigue. Then she has to lock out deliberately at the top and almost pause. But nonetheless, that's neither my job nor your job to judge that, but to really think about the execution of the workout. Gabby Magala was able to pace perfectly throughout. And then we knew that she would struggle a bit with the hanging and redundancy of coming off the toes to bar and then going into the ring muscle ups, just something historically that she's still trying to work at. If you feel like you can go on this workout, then it's an all go workout, folks. Now, what I'm going to do in regards to the advice that I'll offer everybody. I'm just going to start with basically reading through the workout so that everyone is on the same page in regards to what the execution is, the flow of it. And then, of course, I'll dive into some of my thoughts on each movement, how to break it up depending on what level that you are at currently. So 23.1 is a 14-minute AMRAP of 60 calories on the rower, 50 toes to bar, 40 wall balls, 30 power cleans, and 20 ring muscle ups. You get through the ring muscle ups, then you start back over. The beauty here is that for all of you that may be concerned with getting no ring muscle ups because you don't have them yet, then it's a race to the rings. And that's what I titled this workout, The Race to the Rings, folks. It's going to be a great test for all of you. Like I mentioned, it's highly repeatable. There's some things that you can consider in the warm up, but one that I'll just kind of throw out this direction, which of course I will also include below in the show notes or in the notes below the video. Um, is general prep. Consider foam rolling and preparing your tissues for, foam roll, get a lacrosse ball and anything that's angry or tight in these particular areas, your lats, your shoulders, your quads, your glutes, and your hamstrings. Those are going to be the primary drivers in almost all of these style of tests moving forward, but you need to make sure you show them some attention so you can feel good. Then I would encourage you to go through a handful of static stretches just to prime your body, relax your body before you start to prime it and warm it up. 1 minute of a couch stretch each leg, 1 minute of a pigeon each leg, 1 minute banded shoulder stretch, where you're pulling your shoulders open. The band is actually on the anterior part of your shoulder or the front. You kind of turn away from it. 1 minute seated hamstring stretch. A bit of a hang from the ring is probably about 30 seconds or so to engage and activate your lats and your shoulders. So there's some stability there before we start swinging around. And then 10 seconds of the bottom of the ring hold to stretch out your pecs and your chest. And then, of course, 10 seconds at the top of the ring support to, one, refine the position that you need to finish the ring muscle ups in, but also to make sure that you're prepped and ready for it. Now, your warm up is going to be to each your own. Don't start following a random warm up sequence just because you said or heard a coach. I know there's going to be a ton of videos out giving advice. 3-minute easy row is what I suggest. 3-inch worms, 4 kneeling thoracic rotations where you're going to open up your chest, your back, and your shoulders. And of course, get some thoracic spine rotation there. 5 hip down push-ups. Again, keeping your belly button down on the ground and arching through your mid spine to kind of open that up for your kipping swings, through your wall balls, and for your toes to bar as well. 6 Spider-Mans each side, 7 kipping swings, 8 Romanian deadlifts with the load of a barbell, and then 10 air squats. Go through this 2 rounds to prepare yourself. Set up for the workout. Then you should demo 5 to 10 reps at each movement to make sure you're there. If you don't have ring muscle ups and you know that you're not going to do them in the workout, you should go through low ring series drills where it's like a kneeling ring muscle up. Practice and refine the movement pattern around the rings. Maybe today's the special day for you. And then what I would suggest is, after some ring swings, practicing or attempting 1 or 2 attempts. And then you never know. If you get it, awesome. If you don't get it, maybe you're saving it for the workout. Then your primer. With a bit of urgency here, you want to go through a 5-calorie row, 5 toes to bar, 5 wall balls, 3 power cleans, and 2 ring muscle ups. Rest about a minute or so your heart rate comes back down, and repeat that depending on how much of a primer you need 2 to 3 times. You want to grease the groove. You want to feel like you've already spiked your heart rate and you're out of breath and that you're ready to rock and roll. After about a 4 to 5 minute rest before they stage your heat or whatever, get your judge and everything ready to record, then it's go time. Now, I want to make sure that you guys know and that you take responsibility for knowing all the standards for the movements, knowing what you need to say before the video, and also knowing the floor plan. Understand that there's a particular layout that they want to see. This isn't like the Wild Wild West like it was in 2014. Study the standards and also study the floor plan and set yourself up for success. Even know what you need to say in the video. Make sure that you're showing all your measurements. For this particular workout, you're going to need to measure the distance from the tape lines that they prescribe. You're going to need to measure the wall ball target, and you're going to need to show your weights for both the wall ball and the power clean. So make sure you're doing those things. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Maybe even do a practice round of that before it's officially time to record. And I'm just saying this because I know that it can be a struggle as a coach or an athlete to want to rush through and buzz through that stuff. Now, here we go, strategy wise, right? When you start this workout, 3, 2, 1, go, you're going to have a lot of adrenaline. Don't try to race off the rower. There are no awards for that. This row at the beginning of this workout can significantly be a trap for those of you that aren't pursuing a high level of fitness and have been doing this for many years. Because if you come out just because you feel good and you come out hot, guess what that's going to affect? Every other stinking movement in this workout. So be wise there. Breathe and be smooth. I can't prescribe particular wattages because of the diversity of the group that will be watching this video, but understand that if you get off the rower before 2:15, and you're a male athlete, then you better be for sure that you're going to either get 0 ring muscle up, so it's a race to that, or you know that you can finish the 20 no problem and get good work in the second round. Because if you rush, and you're in the vast majority of us that will fall in between the top 1% and the top 14% of this workout, then you need to make sure that you're running your own race to set yourself up for success, to have plenty of time on the rings, but also plenty of energy there. So pace the row. And for ladies, you should be considering getting off just under 3 minutes or so on your side. Again, unless you fall in the same kind of considerations that I said for the fellas, you're getting 0 ring muscle ups, or you know they're easy for you on the back half and you're going to string through them quickly. Toes to bar. Now, if you're an athlete that has about 45 plus unbroken toes to bar in a set, then you can assure that you're going to get through the 50 in about 3 sets. So what I like to make that look like often is, maybe perhaps coming off with a set of 15, or a set of 20, a set of 15, and then another set of 15. Or you could do and be more generous to yourself and do 5 sets of 10. And if you don't have 25 or more or 20 or more unbroken toes to bar, then you should consider coming out and doing 10 sets of 5, right? Something that is going to allow you to have accountability for what you're going to attack, but also it keeps your rest short. Folks, that's the name of the game in this whole entire workout is keep your rest short. It's going to help you keep your heart rate lower, and you will be more likely to waste less time as you get deeper into the portions of the workout that really matter. But toes to bar, you want to save your grip and save your midline so you can use it for the ring muscle ups. In regards to wall balls, I would suggest most people do 2 to 3 sets of this, even if you can go unbroken. Now, if you can go unbroken and your shoulders and your triceps will not play a role in the fatigue of the lockout of the ring muscle up, then go for it. By all means, go 40 unbroken. Make sure that you're adhering to the wall ball standard of getting more than half of the wall ball clearly above the target. It used to be that you had to hit the target, or a portion of the wall ball had the target, or half the wall ball had to hit the bottom of the target. Well, make sure that you're up on the standards and hitting accurately every rep. It's not worth a no rep in order to try to hold on for bigger sets. Drop the wall ball, anticipate your rest, think 2 to 3 sets to get to 40, and you'll be fine. Again, for the everyday athlete out there that's like, yo, 2 to 3 sets, that's too much. Well, then don't take my advice and simply do 4 sets of 10, or do a set of 10 and do a set of 9 and do a set of 8 and continue on that path until you get to 40. What I like to do with most things in a chipper style workout is to start with a bigger set and make my set sequentially shorter, because it helps me want to get back to work more quickly. That's a mind game, so you've got to think and consider what works for you specifically. Again, most ladies, if your triceps are going to be a problem in the lockout of the stinking ring muscle ups, then please break up your wall balls simply to cut back the time under tension and create some shaking out so we produce less fatigue and less stress in those pressing muscles. For the power cleans, folks, my advice to every single person out there walking the face of the earth that's going to do this workout is to do singles. You watched several elite athletes take the floor. You watched one do a set of like 5 or 6 touch and go, and then she went singles after that, and she had the lowest output in this entire workout to begin with. So why would you link together reps? Well, I can only tell you that you would link together reps if you can for sure do 0 ring muscle ups and you're racing to the rings, right? You know that your workout, in fact, ends there so you can get the best tie break time possible. Other than that, folks, if you hope to get 1 ring muscle up, do singles. Pace yourself. Think about keeping your feet square and at the bar. Consider whether you will do a muscle power clean or you would do a pure power clean with a little dip. If you do a little dip, make sure your knees are locked out with the bar in your front rack position before you drop it. Show your judge that the elbows are clearly in front of the bar every time. These are all things that you need to consider sequentially in order to give yourself success in this particular event or workout. The details matter, and that's what adds up. In this workout, this week, there's so many transitions that there's so much opportunity to lose time. When you choose to do singles in a movement like the power clean, you have an opportunity to lose 1 second per rep. Think about it. A split-second decision to step back after you drop the bar, or to not stay as close to the bar as you can, or to let the bar lose control when you drop it and it's bouncing here and there and all over the place, that's going to set you up for failure. So you've got to make sure you're setting yourself up for success by controlling the bar when it does drop, making sure that every rep counts, and having a strategy. Will you muscle clean? Will you power clean? And making sure that the judge is in tune with every repetition, that you're showing them good stuff. But breathe there and understand that this is your opportunity to try to regather some composure for most of you that have the strength capacity to then be able to do your ring muscle ups. Now, when it comes to ring muscle ups, don't lollygag. Don't allow yourself time to, oh, I need to go get chalk. I need to do all this. If you're wearing grips, you should already have grips prepared with chalk on them. You don't need your grips for any other movements. So they should be chalked, right? And then when you turn them around or put them on your hands to do the first ring muscle up, they should feel freshly chalked. You should be ready to rock. After you do your first set, which should be a generous set in regards to do not go to failure. The last thing that you want to do is jump up and do 7 or 8 ring muscle ups, and in the next set you only do 2. Why do that? I would rather see you jump up, be generous to yourself, pace accordingly, jump up and do 5 to 6 reps maximum, hop down. Jump up and do another 4 to 5 reps, hop down, jump up and do another 4 reps, hop down. And before you know it, you're chipping away and perhaps ending up at 20 in 3 to 4 sets for the upper echelon of athletes. Now, I know that there's going to be the outliers up there that are going to be able to jump up and do 20 ring muscle ups in 3 sets or 2 sets because they've got that kind of capacity in reserves. But for most of you, if you can do 20 unbroken ring muscle ups, a great rep scheme to consider would be 6-5-5-4. That will get you to 20. It gives you plenty of time to get an opportunity to get back on the rower and do some damage, but also it's not going to take you so deep in the pain cave or fatigue cave that you will just be standing at the rings wondering what now. If you know that you struggle with locking out the ring dip, this is where specifically the fatigue will come in even more than the transition. So be mindful of what you need to prepare for before you get to the rings. Is it going to be a traditional kip? Is it a lift of the heels as you press out? Do you need to do the transition? Then wait, then help yourself lock out the ring muscle up, similar to what Laura Horvath does in order to help herself. If you don't have an understanding or an expectation for this when you get there and fatigue is punching you in the mouth and things might not be going the way that you want, you will fail and you will struggle and it will become a psychological battle. And we want it to be physiological. We want you to already be prepared emotionally and mentally for what's going to happen so then you can guide your body through it. So keep a positive mindset. Understand that as the closer that you get to 20, that's when the real race begins. And this is where we start to enter the pain cave, right? If you planned on finishing the ring muscle ups and you're already deep in the pain cave here, you're not going to have the same kind of kick to the finish that other athletes may. So as you get from reps 12 to 20, that's a real race there because now we want to build urgency. Okay, it's clear. You're going to make it happen. You're going to get to the 20, but how fast can you get there? And what kind of urgency can you begin to row? And what do you have time to do? Once you get back and create the clearance from the rings and get to the rower, it's go time, baby. It's time to get on the rower and be less concerned about the wattage you're putting out and pacing for anything else. And the bottom line is to get as much work done as possible, as fast as possible. My advice is when the rower's at the tail end of a workout like this is get on it and get it moving. Don't wait. Get that thing moving, get some watts going, accumulate some calories, recover through the first 4 to 5 strokes, and start to build momentum for yourself. Look at the watts. If it says 1780, what can you do to make it say 1800? Then after a few strokes, what can you do to make it say 1820? Then after a few strokes, what can you do to make it right? That's the idea. And it doesn't matter where you're at. It could be 1100. I could have been being unrealistic for you, but it could be 1100 watts. And then you just need to make it say 12 after 5 strokes. And then after another 5 strokes, you need to make it say 13. And the goal is to try to consistently be building watts until you feel like this is something you can barely hang on to through the 60th calorie if you're fortunate enough to get there. Then, of course, it's the same premise when you get to the rig. Jump up and get some work in as fast as you can with whatever time you have left. If you have time to chalk, you'll be able to do it. But if at that point you're there, you're going to end up with one of the best times in your area and one of the best scores, perhaps in your whole semifinal bracket or quarterfinal bracket. So if you're there, you're probably feeling good about yourself. But those are the things to consider, folks. That's the way I wanted to break it down for you guys individually. I know that there's different categories of athletes, and I think the thing to consider is that if you're going to be close to the cusp of making the quarterfinals or not, then it's a race to the rings, and you've got to be a little bit more reckless with your capacity. If you know that you're going to make it to the rings and do some damage and then perhaps make it through to the other side, then it's an elegant dance of not redlining yourself and not coming out too hot just because you can and you feel fresh. It's an opportunity for you to dial in the pacing that you've put into practice throughout the offseason, and it's an opportunity to learn where you're at capacity-wise versus the masses. Seize the moment, seize the opportunity to be fired up and be excited. Now, when it comes to equipment, the list is very short. You guys may need to throw some tape on your wrist if you like to tape your wrist for anything that you're doing when you wear grips. If you need sweatbands because you're going to get sweat and the drip action is going to be real, wear them, be wise, but really you just need your grips. Other than that, you shouldn't need any fancy lifters or anything like that. We don't need a jump rope for double unders. Like I mentioned, the cool down and the preparation will all be listed below this video. So I want to wish you guys the best of luck. I will be very surprised if I'm able to even better my score from 2014, just with where I'm at in regards to fitness now. But you best believe that I'm going to wake up Friday morning and give it my best. And to all the athletes out there, specifically the true athletes out there, like I mentioned in my post earlier on social media, whether you guys follow me there or not at Adrian Conway _, it's important for you guys and girls to take this as an opportunity and view it as an opportunity. You've worked really hard for this. You've committed portions of your life to this. Some of you more than others. You've sacrificed for this. And now it's the beginning of a season. Be excited and recognize the emotions and the feelings and the excitement and perhaps the lack of sleep that you'll get tonight or the night before you do the workout as excitement and anticipation and not any other negative feeling or emotion or title that we could give it. You're just excited about an opportunity. And when it's time to perform and the clock goes beep, 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 and it's go time, then seize the moment. You've been working very hard for it. And just remember, it's you versus you at this point. How can we maximize your output? Good luck, guys. I hope that everyone kills it. I'm super happy with the way that we've kicked off the open here, and I'm very excited to see what we get in the weeks to come. Good luck.